beautiful actor.
Alright, cool. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, it was fire. They did really good with him with the CGI. Really good.
It wasn't only getting better.
It wasn't a Sonic upset.
Sonic wasn't that bad after.
No. The first Sonic
was sad.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the first time when we got the first outing of Sonic, and they had like
that weird.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. He was sad.
Yeah.
He was awesome.
At least they fixed him for the movie.
They had Sonic on a perk 30.
No cap.
Oh man.
He had to go to rehab before they shot the movie.
Yes, he did.
Yo.
Ooh. You know when you hit the blunt and it hit you back?
Yo, that was bad. I'm not gonna lie.
That was
horrible. But listen, man, that was crazy. And we're back with another episode of Controversial Chronicles. I'm C. Griffey, and I'm with
VQPRIX.
Stereotype.
You know what I'm saying? And listen, I appreciate every last one of y'all for tuning into our episodes. Yo, we going up and only way is up and up and up and uppity up. Listen, this episode, y'all, we got some good topics. Now, I want to talk to you fellas about something that's pretty unspoken of. You know what I'm saying? The unspoken rules, guidelines, or situations that happen in a relationship. Now, let's talk about it. There are some things that are not discussed or openly discussed between people that are in relationships, whether that is platonic or romantic, especially the romantic ones. So, when we're talking about that, people don't discuss a lot of the times the terms of their relationship. You know what I'm saying? People go into a lot of relationships with a lot of what ifs or maybes and uncertainties. What do you guys think are the general unspoken things of relationship?
Stereotype. I'm gonna let you go first on this one.
Dang, right on the spot. Did I prepare? I think I prepared. Honestly, I feel like there's definitely a lot of unspoken things in relationships. Just to start, the way you're supposed to carry yourself in a relationship is I feel like that is one big thing. Because it's like, it kind of just reminds you back of the idea of simping versus non-simping.
Pimping versus simping.
So to speak on that,
that's a conversation for the other day.
No, we gonna bring that up later. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
We're gonna bring that up later.
It's one thing to definitely be there, be there for your girl and whatnot. But if she is the main center of your world and she ain't doing anything, that's a problem. That is a huge problem. And I feel like it's an unspoken thing because people wonder why their relationships end up failing the way that they do because it's that power shift that changed. If you simping and she ain't with you, it's just ooh, okay, that ain't happening.
Right. So what about if in the instance that if you are in a relationship with somebody, but they expect for you to react a certain way given a certain situation, but that's not necessarily your body. That's not necessarily your personality or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to that, are you supposed to react in a way that you're accustomed to or in the way that your partner wants you to?
Honestly, that goes back to the idea of a healthy compromise and understanding when you have to give up the I for us. And I feel like a lot of us don't know how to do that yet.
Because it's unspoken. Remember, a lot of people, what they'll say is, oh, I expected you to do this. We didn't talk about this. You know what I'm saying? We didn't discuss this. Oh, me personally, how I usually go about it is X, Y, and Z, but how you wanted me to go about it was A, B, C. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I feel as though it's a two-way street when it comes to that because it's not always our jobs to really discuss what's going to make us this way or what's going to make us that way. Fair. I feel as though it's all about how much you care about that person and their boundaries. It's all about setting healthy boundaries. If you can't set those healthy boundaries, it's going to definitely come back and affect everything going on. So in the beginning, if you got to make shit clear that, okay, I have this going on, you have this going on, how can we compromise and meet in the middle to actually work? I think that's what it's all about. It's literally all about that.
Okay. So break down to me how this compromise is supposed to be reached if a lot of this stuff is still hidden in a way. It's not really talked about that much. How can people break that barrier to make it to that point?
So, for example, right, we could talk schedules. So, say that the person you're dating, they have a late night schedule, right? and on this late night schedule, you actually sleep. Mm-hmm. The moment they get in from work, you're already at work. Mm-hmm. Now that gives you like a small, like a real tiny window to actually, spend time with this person or actually be able to break down shit like that. But within that opportunity, I would say if y'all really want to find that compromise, take that opportunity. Y'all might end up sacrificing a little bit of time because work, you're tired, all of that. Mm-hmm. But take that time to actually sacrifice and show that y'all both are putting forth that effort to really want what y'all working towards. Because a relationship is constantly being worked towards. It's literally constant work. It's like another job. Like you're working on it every single day. So if you think that there's such thing as a perfect relationship, I disagree. Now,
doesn't exist.
He says it doesn't exist. Stereotype. These are all opinionated, by the way. So,
argue me, it doesn't exist.
I think
it doesn't exist.
I think that perfect relationships are created, but I don't think that they're just first love at first sight like that. Because even if it is, it's like it's still things that in ways that person might be living because the way that they were before they met you. Versus adjusting to them being to how they are when they met you. When when y'all actually accustomed to each other. So,
I would like to humbly disagree.
Really?
Humbly disagree because perfection is something that's unattainable, respectfully, and I feel like a lot of people end up messing up their relationships because they're trying to obtain them. It kind of goes back to that 80-20 rule. You're going to find 80% of what you want in a relationship most of the time. There's also going to be that one time that you think that the one thing you miss and you're supposed to go for. You look down the street, you're like, oh, dad, that's a nice 80 right there. Whole time she's a 20 once the lights go out.
Ooh. Now you have a point. But
so compromising that 80% for the 20%.
I have a compromise with that too, though. Perfection can definitely be obtained. Definitely, you have a point. But I do think that perfection can be obtained because perfection is not always what you perceive as perfect. It's what, the other person might perceive as perfect to them. I think perfection is just a opinion for real. So if you feel as though, like, say for example, we got these cups. All three of these colors are different. But appealing to colors, I wanted this color. This is perfect for me. This is my opinion. It's perfect. I feel like perfection is an opinionated thing. So you have a point, but at the same time, it's all about how you want your relationship to be. It's perfect to you, and you need to make it perfect to your partner. That's the problem that makes perfection thing. But
that's the thing right there. I don't feel like a relationship can be perfect. I feel like people feel like they could be perfect for their partner. That's the biggest thing.
Better way to put it.
Yep. Yeah, I don't feel like a perfect relationship means everything is unhinged.
There's no such thing.
I'm sorry.
But then again, though, a perfect relationship doesn't have to be everything perfect. Like, there's people that's perfect in relationships where their partner is accepting of everything that they do or have done, regardless if it's hurtful to them or hurtful to or not hurtful at all. It can still be perceived as perfection because it's what they want.
Right.
That's where the opinionated, stigma comes in.
Yeah, perfection is definitely an ideology that you will have. But I see what you're trying to say. Like, perfection in a relationship, it's like, okay, this relationship is perfect for me because, yes, we may have issues, but we work together. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give y'all some free games, some free advice. Listen, when you have an argument in a relationship, it's not you against your partner. It's you and your partner against the problem. The problem. I'm gonna put that out there.
Stop fighting each other.
Yeah. Like, y'all may argue, y'all gonna have disagreements. Y'all are people at the end of the day. You have to be okay with being people, individual people in a whole relationship. You are two pieces bringing it together. You have to be okay with the stuff that's gonna happen and recognize stuff is gonna happen. Not everything is going to be perfect. But it is perfectly okay if you go through it and you work through it.
Now,
I need to add on to that. Can I add on to that? I'm gonna add on to that. This has been weighing on my soul a little bit. It's heavy. It's heavy. I feel like it's definitely one thing to communicate and be like, okay, hey, this is what we have here. You can work towards perfection. That's perfectly all well and good. Like, I agree with you 100%. But the biggest problem is, how do you communicate properly if things are hidden? You can't. And I feel like that is what the biggest thing is. It's not about the fact of talking about the unspoken things in relationships. Things shouldn't be unspoken.
Well, hold on.
Let me say. Let me caveat. I'm gonna let you finish.
I'm
gonna caveat to that, because when we say unspoken thing, the unspoken rules of relationship is a little bit different than the unspoken terms in a relationship.
Ooh.
What I'm gonna say is, unspoken rules of relationship is how I'm gonna view this. If me and I'm out with shorty, and some guy is talking slick to her, what she want me to do? What she want me to do? Should I address the situation, or should I fall back? You're saying now that's one difference between the shorty I'm with, because the shorty may be like, oh no, don't do anything, don't be blah blah blah, come on baby, let's go. Or the shorty I'm with may be like, no, you better knock that. You know what I'm saying?
But that doesn't always go based off of the person you with. That also goes based off of yourself too,
exactly.
because you could be a D1 crash out,
Yeah.
and you be like, all right, you talking to my girl? Simple.
Right.
And then
Now you in jail.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Like, there's some people that just take it to the extreme.
But
Where
that's
are
what-
your friends?
But that's what I mean. Those are the unspoken rules of relationship.
Yeah.
How you react versus how your partner will react in certain situations. Given another example of that is if I say, oh, baby, I'm hungry. Can you go get me some food? Blah, 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 blah. You gonna go grab me some food because I'm hungry? You know what I'm saying? Or you just not gonna be like, or you gonna be like, you not too late. You can go get it yourself. I'm saying, like, I'm not saying it has to be a given thing all the time, but give and take. What are the stipulations of that? Those are unspoken rules of a relationship. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't address that. A lot of people don't talk about that. Those are, I would say, are the unspoken rules. One of the unspoken terms would be, like, how do we address this issue we're going through, or how do we communicate better? You know what I'm saying? That's more so the terms and everything. You follow my
So, let me caveat them, because he actually made it perfectly understanding. So, no, I'm not going to say unspoken rules. What I kind of basically meant to say was that I feel like the biggest thing, though, is, like you said before, it's understanding the line. You can't understand where the line is actually drawn if no one's speaking on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest issue right there. Because I feel like I'm not a mind reader. I'm not going to be able to know what it is you're asking of me. I can do what I can to the best of my ability.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Right.
And that's not enough, then we just ain't going to work.
Absolutely agree. Like, just like you said, like, communication is 100%. I feel like if you really want a quote-unquote perfect relationship, without communication, you will never have that. Communication will always make your relationship better, whether it's toxic, whether it's not. Because as long as y'all communicate it and y'all know for a fact what y'all have going on, it will always be perfect to y'all, because y'all have that understanding. And once you go outside that understanding, that's the problem.
Right.
Because if you communicate that, then there should be no issue.
Right. I wholesomely agree with that. I can agree with that. But then, if we're talking about the unspoken rules in terms of a relationship, we gotta talk about that when it comes down to traveling. And that could be whether that's with your boys, that's with your girls, or that could be with your partner. You know what I'm saying?
Let me make this one clear now.
So who paying? That's the question.
It's not even about that. If you're traveling, I feel like everybody needs to put up some sort of contribution. Like,
Facts.
like even if you're not paying, if somebody's paying for you, you have to contribute. Like, regardless. If this person, this person bringing the snacks, that person bringing the drinks, this person is our ride there and our ride back. Right. Like, you need to find some sort of major contribution to really feel like you deserve to be on that trip.
If I pay for your plane ticket, you go in on the Airbnb or the hotel. You know what I'm saying?
Literally.
That's fact.
Like, everybody got a part in the kitchen.
Literally. It doesn't have to be straight, like, everybody split it 3 ways, 4 ways, 5 ways. Like, it doesn't always have to be that. But as long as you have a contribution where it's like, all right, this is major. He bought the flights. He got us there. He got us back. So why not just have us somewhere to stay? I get the rental car. Just simple. Like, it makes everything a lot easier, and it's a lot cheaper that way.
Right. I'm not putting up for everybody flying though. That's
yeah, that's expensive.
Yeah,
that's expensive.
But if we also on that same line, like, no cap, if we out traveling and I'm not going with nobody, if you have an itinerary for every block of the day, that's not happening. That's not happening. I want a free ball sometimes. I want to go out. If I feel so, I want to go out and hoop. I'm just going to go out and hoop. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just saying. I'm not rocking with a class schedule.
I'm not going to lie. I'm like a little bit guilty of both. Like I can't. Certain days I can't have a completely scheduled itinerary, but other days it's like, huh?
You want to have some stuff planned.
Yeah, like at least one of those days got to be something planned out. Where it's like, say we go down to Bmore, like say we go to Baltimore or Jersey or somewhere, like. We have to be able to know what we're doing. Like, we can go to the aquarium. We can go get drinks after. Right. We can get breakfast, lunch, dinner. Like, at least if one of those days is planned out, I'll feel better because at least we did something while we were there.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I'm not saying we don't have a plan. We have to have a plan. But we have to go down and leave space for
spontaneity.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm saying I'm not going with somebody if you say, oh, from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, we're going to be at this spot. And from 9:15 to 10:12, we're going to do this. And from 10:12 to noon, lunch. No.
If you can't include some sort of spontaneous activities, it's not going to make the trip as fun as you would like it to be.
I feel like I'm a class field trip and I'm out of school game.
It's got to be a healthy mixture of both. Like, it has to be spontaneous, but at the same time, it has to be like controlled enough to know that, all right, we can have this planned out.
All right. And no cap, I'm going to speak on this too, because if we're talking about the unspoken rules of it, fellas, if you taking your girl on a trip, you have to plan some stuff. No cap. You have to plan some stuff that you will like, she will like, and y'all both will like.
Literally.
It's give and take. Yeah, you may not want to sit. Yeah, man, you may not want to sit in the mall for 5 hours, but hey, if she wants to go window shopping, ball out. But she may not want to go to the game. If there's a game in the city you travel to, she may not want to. You know what I'm saying? But then y'all find something. Y'all can hit a movie, hit whatever. Y'all can go to the beach, something. But you fellas, you gotta plan that out. You can't be like, oh yeah, baby, we're gonna go on this trip, and it's just going free balling. No.
Also, group trips, right? Yeah. If you do bring your significant other, you do need to figure out a way to at least be able to split off and spend some time with your significant other while you're there. Because otherwise, it's just going to feel like y'all just drag them along. As long as they know that, all right, we have some time for us, then, it'll be a lot better for you because your significant other is going to feel like, okay, maybe you did think about me here.
Right.
Like, it's not going to feel like it just went over their head. Like, all right, I'm just bringing you along because the boys is like, fuck it, we going to Texas or something.
Right.
Well, no.
So,
that's a nice
when it comes down to that, like, when you traveling with your partner and a group of people, should it all be couples? Or can it be like you know what I'm saying? You're going to have people like third, fourth, fifth wheel that join.
I feel like with that, it depends on the group. It depends on if you have a group chat with these people. That's a different story because it's going to be couples in there. It's going to be third, fourth wheels.
Right.
Now, if you want to have a completely just couples trip, you have to make that clear to everybody that's going. This is a couples trip. Bring your significant other. Right. If not, you can't go. Right. You're not going to have fun.
Or you better find a little yeah real quick.
No, simple. It's literally.
Like, listen, you go to the grocery store. Hey, baby, listen, I'm going on this trip. You want to go? You know what I'm saying? Simple like that. You gotta
or meet something down there at least.
See, that's traveling there, and then you gotta hopefully maybe find something. I mean, you're gonna be shooting outside of your play area.
I'm not saying you gotta keep it.
No, I'm just saying.
What's the saying? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
I'm saying, but you're gonna be outside your play area. If you're accustomed to a certain lifestyle here, and you're going to all the way over here, it's throwing 100. It's your likelihood kind of it's up in the air of if you're gonna pull or not.
Now, going back to a more recent episode we just had, this is where a little bit of confidence kicks in, where it's like, if you're confident in what you know and what you can get, then it'll be a little bit easier for you. Right. Because you know for a fact, I get down there, I'm going to find something. Yeah, that's like, I'm going to sleep with something tonight. But it's going to happen. Yeah, but it all depends on that. It's all, for real, a mental game. It's all about how you feel and how you can maneuver about it.
Right.
I feel like the biggest thing, though, especially like unspoken rules in relationship, unspoken rules in travel, who pays, I feel like, is one of the biggest arguments of the day. Like, because it's like, a lot of people be like, oh yeah, the guy's supposed to pay. But then you got people who be like, nah, we got to split this. Because, feminism, right? It's like...
That depends solely on the situation.
Yeah.
Solely on the situation. Like I said, going back to the beginning, it's all about contributions. Like, if you contributing to, like, say we go on a trip, right? You pay for our way down there, he pays for where we stay at, and I pay for all the amenities and everything else. That's all equal, because at the end of the day, we might seem like one of us might spend a little more. We actually might. But we're all within the same range, the same budget.
Right.
Yeah.
So together, it makes it stronger.
I'm
now,
not
when
paying
you
for everybody entertainment. That's what I will do.
So the question is this: a shawty you just met, y'all been dating for like about a couple of weeks now?
Weeks?
Not enough time to know them.
Weeks? You want to go away with me?
Yeah, no, that's too far.
Red flags.
Too far.
See,
red flags.
See, I was testing.
You don't even know if I'm a kidnapper or a serial killer, and you want to go weeks. You want to go far with me.
You want to, man. Please, I gotta be chatting with you for a little bit longer before.
All right, so
you might set
y'all just became official now.
We just became official. Okay.
Y'all just became official.
That still takes time. I think personally that still takes time, because at the end of the day, you still will never know somebody, no matter how long you know them. You will never know somebody's complete true colors ever.
But she invited you on a family trip.
Still, that's even riskier, because you don't know her true colors, and you really don't know her family true colors.
You might all seen Get Out.
Exactly. They might put you in a brain transplant, put you in a white body. Then you're missing a couple inches and a couple off the top.
Yeah. I'm sorry. We're gonna have a conversation, and we're gonna talk about things.
Okay.
We're gonna get some things in order. Because I'm not going away with your family if I don't know them. Respectfully. And I'm not going away with you unless I truly know you and how you act inside the crib and outside the crib. If I take you out and we go into a high-end fashion, we go to a high-end restaurant, you better not be acting ratchet up in that joint. Okay, so, but if we go to a little club or something like that, a little Colombiano, you better be doing some shaky butt or something. I'm not gonna lie, we're not gonna be standing there like sticks. I like to dance.
But
yeah.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be in there like Red Nose. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, somebody's kid is watching this, man. Come on. That's crazy.
They hip.
I mean, you gotta learn someday. Start them young. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Whoa. Strike from the record. That's crazy.
Flag
of the flag.
No, I'm just saying, like, I gotta know how you act in and outside the crib. Like, if we can vibe, no, my thing is, we're gonna be in different situations before I travel with you. I'm gonna see how you act in a classier environment. I'm gonna see how you act in a more outgoing, extroverted environment. I'm gonna see how you act in when we in the crib. Like, is our chemistry really there? Before I even cuff you officially, that's what's gonna happen. But then when I cuff you officially, I'm gonna see, are you gonna change in that little bit of time? And then bada bing, bada boom, if I so happen to go away with you.
I think a nice little safety net for going away with somebody is probably around, like, talk for about 2 to 3 months, go official, and then 2 to 3 months after y'all official, when y'all fully over that honeymoon stage, is where it's like, okay, all right, I can finally know if I can stand you or not, because there are a lot of people that get irritated with, being around somebody so long.
Right.
So it's all about that. It's all about comfortability for sure. If you're not comfortable and you know you're not going to be comfortable around this person, that's another thing that's just going to trigger a lot of problems with it too.
Right.
So it's all about that.
Honestly, I feel like it definitely agreed. And I honestly feel like, I want to piggyback off what Griffey said. I feel like when it comes down to like traveling, the most important thing, I feel like you want to go ahead and have like a trial run. You know what I mean? Like a trial run. Like, go like leave the city or something for a couple of weeks or whatever. See how they act. Like, you got to see them in these environments so you know how they're going to act when you travel. Because the one thing you don't want to do...
I'm going to take you out the city. I'm about to stay long. I'm still paying more by paying the tolls. What? No. I found a spot in the city. In the state. We'll go outside the city. We'll go in the state in the States.
Well, hold on. You got a point, though. You got to keep it safe sometimes. Like, that's really how you get to know somebody. You can take them as far as county lines. So that way you're not that far in case you got to take them back.
And just see what happens.
Yeah, okay. So, to kind of juggle what we was talking about, another unspoken thing is when you're starting to talk to somebody, how long could you be talking to this person, or should you be talking to this person before you make it official? Is there, I'm saying,
like I said, 2 to 3 months. I feel like the 2 to 3 month range is like where you finally get to know them through the talking stage. So it's like, all right, you can have an opinion enough to decide, all right, I think I like this person enough to really make it go further.
Right.
Like, I really kind of want to learn more about this person.
Right. Yeah, because I feel like you get to a point, man, like, time is very valuable.
Yeah.
If you know what you want, again, I keep saying this every episode. If you know what you want, go for it, man. I'm not going to lie. Like, listen, I feel like 2 to 3 months, maybe 4 to 5. Maybe, that's a strong maybe. There's enough time to be in a talking stage with somebody because you got to know what direction you're heading in life. I'm not going to be sitting here talking to you for a long time. I'm not going to lie. If you don't know what you want by this point,
let me rebuttal. Now, some people would say that 2 to 3 months is a little too short. Even 4 to 5 is a little too short. Now, it's okay
talking?
yeah, believe it or not.
For
now,
talking?
Yeah.
How long we?
I mean, proposed marriage,
now,
yeah, but talking?
I'm like,
you'd be surprised. You'd really be surprised.
No, like, granted, I've been in situations where I've, you know what I'm saying, like, talked to people for more than 6 months.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What am I doing with you? We're just juggling here. We're juggling air here.
That's why I feel like if you keep it at a maximum of a year, like if you're still talking to that person directly at 12 months, at that point you kind of already know like this is just not for you.
Right.
You
like,
just kind of just dragging it on.
If you haven't moved into the next stage, like honestly, I'm a stab it. 2 to 3 months is more than enough time if you're consistently talking.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If y'all talk every day.
2 to 3 months is cool. 4 to 5, pushing it. Half year, I'm sorry, I just wasted a whole half year of my life trying to figure out if I want to date you. I'm sorry, I'm not that like unknown. I'm like I know pretty much what I'm dealing with at this point.
Now we're not saying if you got things going on in y'all lives and y'all just don't match up at the moment. We're not saying that that's
I'm
too
not talking
far.
about entanglements or situationships. I'm saying if you got
definitely not talking about that.
Yeah, like, but I'm saying if you started talking to somebody, it was kind of casual, but y'all start working on, y'all start talking more and more, and it's been like 2 to 3 months. What do you want? What do I want? Okay, I want to move here, or you want to stay here? If you want to stay here, I don't really have the capacity for myself to stay in this type of lane. You have to be like, okay, cool, I'm trying to move on, boom, bounce to the next. That's what you gotta do. You can't sugarcoat things when it comes to this because time, like I said, is valuable. Everybody, you don't know when your time's gonna come. Let's go, and you want to move on with your life and get to the stages you want to get to. So you're gonna have to do what you have to do at the end of the day. Now, from moving from the talking stage into the dating stage, you're still getting to know this person, right? It's not like things automatically change overnight. Like, because you may slap a label on something doesn't mean something's automatically going to change. And because you've been talking to this person and then you say, oh, yeah, like, maybe we should do this or maybe we should say we're this, doesn't mean the dynamics of your relationship is going to change. That doesn't matter. How your relationship changes is dependent really upon the people in that relationship. It's only going to grow to where you want it to grow. It's only going to stop where you want it to stop at. Now, if you continuously working at it, and I say, oh yeah, I've been talking to this person for a whole year, people around you will be like, y'all dating at this point.
That's true. That's very true. He has a point.
But see, yeah, people are gonna say that, but I'm kind of more on the side. Like, I guess I agree with 2 to 3 months because that's how I feel the same way. But it depends on the person, you know. It really does depend on the person, like, because you got those people who be into the slow burn relationships,
right? And that
where they want to get to know you because they want that deep seated emotional connection,
right?
You know, and I feel like getting to know a person, you never actually stop.
Yeah.
The talking stage actually never even ends, even in a relationship, and I feel like that's where the issues start. We stop talking,
right?
We get involved and we get comfortable. Then we go, okay, you know, this my and now we this. Mm-hmm. But because we stopped talking, it's like, oh crap, why we having problems now? Because you stopped talking.
Right. You absolutely right. And then people lose track of the actual friendship bond and the platonic bond that they built up with it. That's another thing too, because once you get to a relationship, you get to learn a lot more about somebody, and it's like,
they open up more.
Yeah, but you get super comfortable with what you learn to the point where you feel like you know enough about this person already. When all reality, you never ever know.
You know nothing. You know, listen, people are icebergs, bro.
Yeah, you chip away, and it's always different layers to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fact is, you will learn something about somebody until y'all are gone. Everybody changes. Every second of the day.
It's not even just that. It's like even when you're gone, like, you still learn things years after.
Facts.
Like, years and years and years after, and you'll just be thinking like, well, I thought I knew this person and
Right.
they did this and they did that. I didn't even know they were capable of doing that. So it's like, you'll never ever know. Even beyond death, beyond the grave.
Right.
Shit, even if they're not even dead, you just won't know.
But
Right.
that's when it comes down to understanding the difference between growing together and growing apart.
Right.
You have to grow together. Because the issue is, we talking or whatever, and if that communication ain't happening and we ain't really doing what makes us us, I've already outgrew you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how breakups happen, because it's like, I woke up next to a stranger.
Right.
Like, who are you?
Right.
And I feel like that is by far one of the biggest things. Because like they said, we change every day.
Yep.
Constant. Lauryn Hill said it best. You're going to see me and be like, yo, I know you. No, you don't know me. I'm getting to know me still.
Right.
Yeah.
you don't know me. Now, if you want to get to know me, then let's do that. But I feel like that's definitely one of like the biggest things in relationships is that like we forget that going together is very important, because that's the thing. We're going to constantly be going through these shifts together. And the thing is, if you miss a stage as we going up, then that's your fault.
I agree with that 100%. And like, I also feel like, going back to the whole perfection thing, I feel as though like that is what could make a relationship perfect. If you feel as though you're comfortable enough to grow with this person and accept this person for who they are, despite what they've done in their lifetime, that person is for you. That's perfect for you. Despite if y'all go through them problems, all that, you know for a fact you have the mental capacity to actually deal with what comes behind them, and you wouldn't want to have it no other way.
No, facts. And the thing is, when you in a relationship with somebody, you have to understand, like, when y'all grow, you have to learn to grow individually together. You have to learn to grow individually together. You have to learn to grow together individually. You know what I'm saying?
That was beautiful.
For sure.
No,
That was
like,
beautiful.
that's the fact. Like, people...
Gotta dab you up with that one.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people forget that altogether when it comes down to that. Like, in a relationship, I'm going to grow, you're going to grow, right? My path may be a little bit different from yours, and your path may be a little bit different from mine, and that's okay. Because we're growing as individual people, we're going to do that either whether we're in a relationship or not.
That's another thing that a lot of people don't discuss. Like, growing apart in relationships doesn't mean that you're necessarily growing apart from each other.
Right.
Y'all both, at the end of the day, regardless, are still your own people.
Right.
So your life path is going to be different from your partner's life path, regardless. No matter what y'all got going on, no matter if y'all live with each other, no matter if y'all are stuck to each other like glue 24/7,
Right.
y'all still have your own separate problems to deal with, your own separate lifestyles. And it's okay to have your partner there, because your partner's there to give you that outside look in, to give you a better understanding of these issues. Now, if you can't accept that, then that person just ain't for you.
Right. And the fact is, your relationship, you're like, it's only going to stop working when you stop working at it.
Exactly.
It's like, if you are tired of it and you're just fed up with whatever, and like, it's only going to not seem like a functional, good relationship to you because you stopped wanting it. It's going to keep working because you want it. If you want something, you're going to get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want it no more, then you're not going to go after it. You're not going to attain it. So you got to work on those stepping stools and climbing those stairs the same level as your partner. I'm saying, once one stops, you're going to see they falling behind. You be like, I'm still going up. Where you at? I'm still going up. Where you at? And like, sometimes you got to run that race together if you're going to do it. You be like, look, listen, and some days you're not going to be able 50-50 all the time. Yeah, some days it's going to be 70-30. Some days it's going to be 90-10. You know what I'm saying? But as long as I still got you, it's going to work. But it also does get to a line. Now, that's another thing I want to bridge into. Whether this is a romantic or platonic relationship with somebody. Where is the line drawn in that whole thing, and where you have to be like, listen, I gotta stop dealing with you. I gotta cut you off. You know what I'm saying?
Taking your niceness for granted. For example.
Speak
like,
on it.
It's one thing to really like step out of line and help somebody out. Like, all right, I feel bad for you. Like, all right, I got you. You know, we're in this together. But if it's literally just we supposed to be in this together, and it's just me and I got you on my back, like, what am I using you for? You're dead weight.
Right.
I just gotta let you go. But if you take heed to what I'm doing, and when I actually feel like I'm starting to slip and fall, and you're right there holding me up, that's where it's like, okay, maybe, just maybe, you got me, and we can actually venture further into this to know for sure. But at that point in time, that's already proof enough that I don't have to do this alone. Like, there's no need to be alone if I'm doing everything on my own, and you're choosing to be there.
Right.
Choosing. You don't have to be here. I'm not asking you for none of this. But if you're like, I'm not gonna let you do it alone, and you got my back, that's for sure. That's a proper way of actually having that relationship.
Right. Just to piggyback off of that, no relationship is 50-50. There's no such thing.
Never.
It's not. But what makes a relationship 100% is the ability to, like what Prix was saying, to understand, to know when to shift. There's gonna be days where I'm gonna be here and I need you to be here, and there's days I'm gonna be here and you probably gonna be here. It's the fact of being able to pick up each other's dead weight. That really is what it is at the end of the day. And I feel like a lot of us, the biggest problem, especially in relationships, and why they stop being like 100% whatever, is the fact of the matter that I'm in this relationship, but I still feel like I'm by myself. And it's like, what's the point of being with you then? There isn't one. Because I'm supposed to feel like I'm growing with you, as well as I have a partner, I have a teammate. But if I'm the one, shooting baskets all day and I'm carrying the team, then there's no point.
Well, I might have to low-key disagree with what you just said.
Ooh.
I feel as though there is such thing as a 50-50 in a relationship. Now, granted, a 50-50 may not look as what you may see it as. 50-50 could be like, okay, this day I'm up. Me, my girl, right? I got the finances and I got taking care of this, and then she got that at home stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's still 50-50. It may not seem the same way like monetarily, but it's still 50-50 put in. It's still equal effort being put in. When I say 50-50, I'm talking about the effort being put in. Like, you're like, oh yeah, I'm putting in what I got and you putting in what you got. Yeah. And I really kind of I really don't like using 50-50, but it's the commonality, What I really say is like 100-100. You know what I'm saying? It's 100. I'm putting 100% of myself forward. You putting yourself 100% of yourself forward. And there's gonna be days where I'm putting, like, I only got this much to put in, and you got a lot more. You know what I'm saying? I don't really like using 50-50, but the 50-50 is more the common known term. So it's like, as long as we're putting in equal effort, and that maxes us out. You know what I'm saying? That's what I say. There's such a thing as 50-50.
Now, I agree with the 50-50, but I feel like the part that I'm getting at, for real, is when you're in a relationship and y'all have been through it, like y'all been at it for a while. Mm-hmm. And understanding that there's going to be moments in time where they can't give you that 50.
Now,
respectfully, yeah, that's why you got 90-10.
Not to oppose to both of y'all, but at the same time, I'm going to meet in the middle, right?
Oh.
Now, there is a such thing as a 50-50. But a lot of people think 50-50 is a little bit more physical. 50-50 could be, all right, I got all the physical aspects and financial aspects of things as long as you got me up here mentally.
Right. Like, okay, baby, take care of me. Like, listen.
Exactly.
Listen, I'm going to go to work, I'm going to hustle, I'm going to do my thing. But listen, my mind is taxed. I need you to be my peace. And that's my biggest thing when I'm in a relationship. I need you to be my peace. Yeah. The world is at me when I step out the front door.
Exactly.
I need you to be my peace when I come back at home.
As soon as I come back home, like, I'm not asking you to do like things that's out of character or nothing.
Right.
But as long as I know for a fact I can come home and there's peace, like, I don't have to deal with the same BS that I'm dealing with at home, right, or when I'm out from home.
Right.
That's fine. Like, I'm going to work every day. I'm dealing with people that don't know me, don't want to deal with me. It's a lot of color things going on and stuff like that. Shit, even bosses. There's a lot of bosses that just don't like you just because.
Right. Cool.
And you can literally just be doing your job.
Right.
But when you come home is supposed to be the place where all of that goes away. Right. This your reset. Right. That's what you're supposed to go home, reset yourself, be better for the next day. Right. Now, if I have you there in my home, in my place of peace, where I reset myself, I expect you there to, add to it. Right. Like, you're supposed to be my peace too. Right. Now, I'm not asking you to clean up, none of that. Because I can do that myself. Especially if it's my home.
Right, exactly.
If it's my home, I can do all of that completely on my own.
So then that raises a question to kind of go back to what we were talking about, like the line. If you're in a relationship and you notice that, like, they just basically add to the bullcrap that you're going through, and even your home ain't safe.
That's the line.
Yeah, that's the line.
That's
you gotta
line.
go.
For me specifically, my thing is, I'm gonna say this. Like for me, I'm a sapiosexual, so your mind stimulates me more than anything. Like I'll find you I can find you physically attractive. I won't go after you per se. Like I'm not gonna lie, I will. But like, what will keep you around will make me actually want to be more attentive and like give you more attention and stuff like that. Will be how you think, how you go about things, how you move. You know what I'm saying? And I can be a goofball. Full on. Y'all see me. I could be a goofball. I want you to be a goofball too. I also want to have intellectual conversations with you. I want to talk about everything underneath the sun. But then I need you for when my peace of mind is breaking because of the outside world and everything I deal with. If I'm coming back home, help me reset. Now I know it's not going to be like that all the time. I understand that. Like I said, there's going to be issues and problems that come up. It's me and you against the issue and problem. How do we address it? How do we fix it? And how do we move past it? If you're not there to meet me on them odds and I see inconsistency showing up, I'm not going to want to deal with you. That's where I draw the line. I'm like, listen, baby, listen. It's you, not me. You got to go.
Now, something that's really misunderstood that comes to that is arguments. Now, arguments are 100% healthy in a relationship. That's 100%.
Dang, I was ready. Now, I was ready. You won. But I'm going to let you cook.
Listen, that's facts, though.
With an argument will help you to understand the other person's point of view.
Yes.
But there's a healthy way to go about it. I'm not talking screaming, yelling, throwing shit at each other. No. There are arguments where it can be peaceful.
Indeed.
But at the same time, it's a thin line between a healthy argument and a toxic argument.
Right.
If you're in a toxic argument, you gotta go. Like you're not trying to understand where I'm coming from with it. Right. You're just trying to get your point across. You're not trying to hear mine, and that's simple. Now, if we're in an argument and we decide, all right, we're gonna take a step back, come back to this conversation, and try to actually understand each other, that's where it contributes to the 50-50, where it's like, all right, I can see that you actually are trying to really figure out what's going on with me, and you really want me to figure out what's going on with you. That's just what comes with it. Like, it guaranteed, if you're in a relationship, there's no such thing as no arguments in a relationship at all. Facts. If there's no arguments in a relationship, that person does not care about you, and you do not care about that person.
Facts. Like, I'm not gonna yell at you. I'm gonna let you go, but like, I'm not gonna yell at you and don't yell at me. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can raise our voices a little bit. That's only because someone wants to be heard. What you gotta do as an effective communication style is listen. Listen intently to what that person got to say because they have a piece on their chest what they're trying to get across. Once you start yelling and start getting out of character and start yelling and throwing stuff, and that's it. But if you're trying to voice something, I'm gonna really sit here and listen to you, and then I'm gonna take it in, comprehend it, and then I'm gonna respond. You said your piece, I'm gonna say my piece. We're gonna try to understand each other and then move past it. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, say what's up.
Honestly, facts on everything that was just said. I want to actually piggyback on both of yours because that was perfect. I feel like arguments is very important in a relationship. Like, you have to talk about it. If you do not, it's like a soda can. Every time there's something that happens, the can shakes. And the can shakes, and the can shakes, and the can shakes. And then what ends up happening is, it just, over time, it bursts. And nobody knows why. This is why we need to be able to talk about these things because it's like, it basically appeases the moment, essentially, is what I want to say. And I feel like, I kind of want to reword it a bit. It's better to debate than argue. Yeah. It's better to debate than argue because I feel like if you arguing with me, then you yelling at me, and I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with somebody who wants to basically fight me all the time. And if everything's an argument, that's just crazy. That's crazy. Like when do we actually talk? You know, at least when we debate, there's room for a consensus because you're not always going to agree, but you can at least find a common ground and be like, okay, I don't like what you said. I don't like what you said, but we agree with this.
Yeah, facts. Like I said, it's understanding. It's all about understanding. Like, y'all don't have to always agree with each other. There's no such thing as that because you're always going to have your own point of views and you're always going to want to live your own lives. But as long as you can meet in that middle where it's like, I understand that this is how you feel. I need you to understand that this is how I feel. We can meet in the middle because it's okay. You have your opinion, I have mine, and we can still go on about how we live our opinions.
Facts.
Exactly. And I feel like, honestly, the biggest thing you want to find somebody who wants, it's like you want to find somebody who's worth fighting for, not to fight with.
Right.
You don't.
You gotta be able to work.
You got to. You really do. It is very important. But the issue is, once you get to that point where you can't fight no more, that's when the love is gone.
Right. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this flat out. Ladies, gentlemen, cook. Respect your last name. Don't try to put nobody else's needs too far above your own. Where you sit at is where you sit at.
Yep.
Don't try to go so far above beyond that you lose yourself. If you start to lose yourself, you're not you in that relationship. And now this person is falling in love with a facade. And that's not good. Woo! Like, please. Like, naturally, that's not good. Because if I'm gonna pretend to be this person that you want to fall in love with, listen, you want to fall in love with Prince Charming. I was never Prince Charming to begin with. I was Leonardo da Vinci. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Can I please?
Like, I'm gonna tell you what. Fiona didn't want Prince Charming. She wanted Shrek.
Hold up.
Look.
Hold up.
No.
The prince didn't want Cinderella for who she was at the ball. She just wanted her in general because her foot fit the shoe.
It wasn't even just that. The part that people don't get.
There's layers.
There's layers. And he
fell
just
like an onion. Just like an onion.
Just like an onion. Bro, come on. Let's not do this. We about to get scientific. It's crazy. But I feel like... Prince Charming fell in love with the person. Mm-hmm. He fell in love with the person. So that's why it is very important. Like we said before, you gotta be yourself. You have to, because after a while, the curtain has to drop.
Right.
It do. And when that curtain drop, they gonna see the real you. And that's why people be they be up at the marriage joint.
Right.
I don't like who I am with you. Because you lost your individuality. Uh-huh. And you can't do that.
And the fact is, like, I'll also add this on top of it. Like, people will recognize what they lost. They won't recognize what they have until they lost it. You know what I'm saying?
Especially if you don't talk about it.
Like, if
you don't say nothing, it just disappear. Mm-hmm. It just takes a minute. But once they realize what they had,
right,
and go to something else, it's not the same.
They will be like, whoa, like, what did I just do? I just fumbled. And then listen, like, when that happens, initially people will be like, oh, like, why that happened to me? Why am I going through this? Blah, 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 blah. And then, like, you, after you get past that little stage, you really be sitting here, like, in a villain arc. And you be like, you'll be back like before.
Yes! I will fight the fight and win the war. For your love. Like, what? Come on.
Like, no, yeah, you really sit back. Like, I'm telling you, you will come into this whole character, you will come into your own persona, you know what I'm saying? And, like, you will be your own person, and people will be like, yo, like, this person I actually had, I need them to be this because of what I wanted them to be. But what they were is what I actually needed.
Mm-hmm.
So,
honestly, that brings me to another thing. Healthy distancing, it is needed.
Oh, 100%.
Especially 100%. If they're taking your niceness for granted or taking you for granted. The best thing you can do for a person is see what life is like with your absence.
I feel like even if it's like they're not taking you for granted, I feel like there is a point where it's like it becomes too much. Even if everything is going well, it does become a burden because you have a sense of like losing yourself. Because you're so used to being with this other person that your personality...
You become your relationship.
Literally. You just start to rely on what you got going on with this person. So, I do agree with that actually being, really healthy. It actually helps with self-identity, self-importance. It helps with so many other things. It's like, it's necessary.
Like I said, respect your last name at the end of the day. Because people are going to recognize who you were and everything that you stand for. And they're going to take you for granted. But then it's like, that's on them. That's a lesson they have to learn.
Indeed.
If y'all so happen to come back together later in life, that's cool. Be ready because there's growth on both ends. And like I said, if you want something to work, you both have to work at it. Don't be afraid. Be like Bob the Builder and fix it, Felix.
Another unspoken rule, though. This is something that a lot of people just probably wouldn't feed into it. They would, but if you ask questions and pertains to what they were doing in their singular life versus with you, be prepared for what they will say. If they tell you the truth, be prepared for what they will say, because not everything is going to be what you would like to hear. You just have to be willing to accept the fact of what it is and just leave it at that. If you can't accept that fact, don't ask that question.
My thing is this. Definitely agreed. And if you're going to get in a relationship, before you get in a relationship, understand something that is very powerful. We all have a past. Mm-hmm. And just because we have a past does not mean we deserve to be crucified for our past.
Right.
Because you don't know what we did. Like, again, you don't know what the other person's been through.
Right.
So that's one thing you don't want to do. You don't want to poke that bear. You truly, truly don't. And that's another thing, too. People get involved with a person because they remind them of who they're trying to become and not who they were.
Right.
And that's a lot of times why they leave the relationship.
Well, in that instance, like, I'm going to poke the bear a little bit because I want to see what you've been through and how have you learned and grown from that instance. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to go through something and then that's in your past, and then I may reference something or I may speak on it, and then it's like a trigger for you, and then you lash out and you become this person I totally don't recognize.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to judge you for your past. Because like I said, we talked about this before.
That's what I mean,
on a previous episode. Like, I'm saying, like, if I did a cartwheel at Scottsdale and I kicked the kid, don't judge me because I kicked the kid.
It's accidental.
He got in my way. You know what I'm saying?
He got in my way.
Things happen.
Right. If I'm doing a cartwheel double flip, and you know what I'm saying? He just
like, where's his mom?
Right. So, like, I'm not going to judge you for your past and what you've done. Like, hold on. Sidebar. Talking about people's past, body counts. When we're talking about people's body counts
don't matter after a certain age. As a teenager and as a child, no. Hear me out. Because think about it. Something that my parents have told me, this has stuck with me ever since the day I heard it. But keep this in mind. Your parents were once your age.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, when they were your age, their count might have been significantly higher than yours, might have been significantly lower. Like I said, if that's a question you really would like the answer to, be prepared for what comes with it, because you will not like it, guaranteed. Your mother, your grandmother, your aunt, your uncle, your dad, all sorts of people, cousins, big brothers, they have a past that not many people know about or even need to even know about. So just be prepared. If they're willing to tell you the truth about it, listen, don't judge, because in the end, you're just in the same stage of life that they were. Just exploration.
Exactly. You gotta understand that, we are worth way more than the sum of our parts. You're not going to be judged based off the last thing you did. It's about the thing that you decide to do now. Unless
you do 100 in a year, that's different.
That's diabolical.
365 in a year is crazy. A person for every day. All right, now we have something to talk about. Because
I want to see them clinical records. No,
I'm sorry. That's way beyond clinical records. 365 in a year.
365 days. Listen, you might have to yardstick. Listen. But honestly, I feel like we definitely talked a lot about like relationships. But the question today, man, nah, listen. If you like, I gotta touch you with a yardstick. I can't. Oh,
yeah, camel pride.
Listen.
Stand back.
Stand back. But look. Let me. Okay, we're good. We talked a lot about relationships, but the thing is, friendships are bad too sometimes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Friendships are bad too sometimes.
I'm gonna speak on this. very briefly.
No, let me speak on this. I need to speak.
We got time. Let's do this.
Listen. I'm gonna say this one thing.
Go ahead.
For my friends that are truly my friends, they know my character and what I stand for and my worth. Those who have said to be my friends that are no longer my friends, they know what my worth is now. Why did they know my worth then? It's because they tried to use me for what they thought was purposeful for them and what could benefit them. Now they learn, oh, you can't just use Griffey. No. So your time has come. You know what I'm saying? Now, at the end of the day, you go about your life, you do your thing. My friends, they're still here. Those people that were, they're not. And it's because they learned a valuable lesson. And that valuable lesson is, don't mess with Griffey. That's it.
Now, when it comes to what I have to say, I agree with that 100%. But I might get quoted on this, I might not.
Ooh.
But this is very, 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 very true. A lot of friendships will affect relationships. Let that sink in. If you have certain friendships, they will affect your relationship, and they will affect your relationship in the most negative way possible.
See, I want to dive into that. I want to dive into that so bad, because what is y'all opinion when it comes down to having as a guy, having a female best friend, and then you're in a relationship with a girl?
I know this one.
See, Tag, you're it. Go ahead.
Okay. Now, I personally feel as though there is rules and regulations that comes to having best friends in relationships. Whether you have a boy best friend and you're a female in a relationship with another guy, or if you're a girl best friend with a relationship with a guy. Simple. When it comes to that, there's certain levels of respect, right? As a best friend, you would expect them to respect your relationship. Now, you know that I like this person and all of that, and I expect to come to you and talk to you when times get hard. But I don't expect you to downplay my relationship knowing for a fact that this is the person that I want to be with. Now, if you see something that I don't see, understandable.
Let a brother know.
Exactly. That's understandable. But if you're just playing around because you don't like that person and you think they just don't deserve a chance just because you're an evil person. Because why? You didn't even give them a chance. It's like you're interfering with something that you have no business really interfering with. And that's probably why a lot of best friend relationships, they don't have their own person. Like, I feel like with that too, if you're in a best friend relationship with somebody and they have their own person too, it makes it a lot easier because it's like, all right, I have nothing to worry about. And sometimes you still will, sometimes you won't. Mm-hmm. But as long as they know that there's certain boundaries and certain respect that comes with who you're dating and the person that you're dating, and even to you, and they respect your relationship, there will be no problem. Right. Boy or girl.
Right. Okay. So
I feel like...
Oh, go ahead.
I feel like, though, for real, when it comes down to that, though, especially for me, no one's good enough for my best friend. That's how I feel. And that's how I was going to feel because...
That sounds real depressing. I ain't gonna lie.
No. I'm
going to let you go.
Let me explain. So, like, your best friends sometimes, they're like your parents, you know, because they know you, they've been around you a lot, and they don't want nobody taking you for granted. So, again, you got to pass a series of tests before you date my friend. That's how I am. So, that's whether it's a boy best friend or a girl best friend. I'm the exact same way. Like, that's what I will tell you. Like, you got to pass the tests. And if you don't get through me, then you ain't getting to them, because that means you suck as a person. That's natural. But I feel like the hardest thing, though, sometimes is when you're in a relationship and they got a girl best friend and you got a boy best friend. It's the fact of, like, that lack of security sometimes in your relationship is a really big thing that a lot of people talk about when it comes to the competition of, can you still have a boy best friend or a girl best friend while you're dating?
Let me answer this. I have to.
I will. Because that was going to be my question. I was going to be like, if you're a guy, can you have a female best friend and be in that relation with a female in a relationship? Or if you're a girl, can you have a guy best friend and be in a relationship with a guy? Quick little answer. Go ahead.
Now, I think that you can. I think that there's nothing wrong with having best friends in a relationship. I think that that's perfectly fine. Now, it factors in, if this best friend respects your relationship, that's where it really gets tricky. Because a lot of relationships, the best friend will never respect the relationship.
Right.
Like, there's been relationships where people will put on other people and knowing that there's something else going on. They have feelings for this other person, but they try to divert you away from that person because they feel as though that they're bad. Right. When in all reality, it might be something completely different. This person might be their person. You just single-handedly fucked up their situation.
Right.
Now...
Okay, hold on. Seriously, answer the question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, honestly, I agree. It really is just the fact of the matter of, like, if the best friend actually respects the relationship And it's also about the fact of the matter of how secure you are in your relationship.
Right. That damages the security though.
Right.
Because if that person that you're dating has a best friend, it's like it's all about how much they respect your person. It ain't about how much they respect you. It's all about how they respect the relationship for their other person. If they don't respect it enough to really respect what y'all got going on, then at that point, it's pointless to even be in it.
Wait, you saying if the best friend doesn't respect the relationship that they don't respect you, they don't. Wait, they got.
No, I'm not saying that.
Wait, I'm trying to break it down. What you just said.
Let me run it back. Now, they have to respect you regardless, right?
Right.
Now, I'm not saying they have to give you the utmost respect because they
My best
know
friend.
you.
You talking about my best friend?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, all right.
Okay.
Say you're in a relationship, right?
Right.
Your best friend, you have a best friend. Your person that you have, the person that you're dating doesn't. The person that you're dating doesn't.
Okay.
Now, if your best friend doesn't respect the other person, at least have enough sense of entitlement and respect to respect what you have going on, because that's what you want.
Right. Okay. I follow what you're saying, and I'm gonna summarize this real quick. Listen, I have an amazing best friend. Shout out, Bestie. You know who you are. I'm not going to give you away on here, but you know who you are. And I have an amazing best friend that if I'm in any relationship, she is very supportive of.
Yes.
Now, she is family. And now I say this, guys can have female best friends and it be strictly platonic, nothing going on there. And girls can have guy best friends strictly platonic. It's all about the relationship and the trust built up. Now, you do have to have boundaries in that relationship. You have to have boundaries with your best friend. You have to have boundaries with your partner. Everything revolves around that, and you have to have the capacity to deal with everything entirely. Listen, now I know everything got juicy and cool, and we really about to dive deep. But I'm gonna say this though: make sure you tell your cousin, uncle, auntie, grandma, fish, monkey, cousin, everybody. Listen, that has been another episode of Controversial Chronicles. We will dive deeper into this on the next couple episodes, man. I appreciate y'all. I'm C. Griffey, and I'm with
Pricks.
Stereotype.
And I'm gonna see you on the next episode. We out.